kinds of stuff. TarylFixesAll.com. Pick yourself up something today. And there's your dinner.
Pterodactyl here, and welcome to another edition of Lawnmowers Mysteries and Oddities. Today's episode is a mystery, and we need to solve how this happened.
Buried deep within corners of decaying mower shops, ancient relics lie. Peculiar artifacts left behind, baffling even today's most experienced repairman. What lies beneath the surface of dust and filth will leave you dumbfounded. Enigmatic, perplexing, and unusual items. Small engine pundit Pterodactyl takes you through Lawnmower Mysteries and Oddities.
Dateline, January 2025. Customer brings a snowblower into my brother Farrell's shop. It's got a Tacumish on it. Recoil's broke, ropes broke out of it. They repaired the recoil. Then when they go to pull the engine over, something's not right. Won't start, doesn't feel right, something's wrong. Pull it apart, camshaft broken in half. So now, the mystery begins. Not only did it break the camshaft, it also broke the boss on the block that the camshaft goes into. Now this engine is
Junk. Belongs in the scrap barrel. Junk.
so the engine had to be replaced. But they're trying to figure out how did that happen. They pull it apart. It's got this spark plug in it. They pull off the head and they start to study it. And they're looking and they notice these marks here. And they notice this little mark, not Marky Mark. They notice this little mark right here. So they put the head back on and they shine a light down through the spark plug hole and they notice that that mark that I just previously showed you lines up exactly with the spark plug hole. Come to find out, the customer wanted to replace the spark plug. Went and bought a spark plug, and this is the spark plug that he stuck in there. This isn't the exact one that was in there. They forgot to send that with it. But they put a long reach plug in there. Now, the thing I don't understand is when you're changing a spark plug and you pull a spark plug out, and the one you've got has got this many threads on it, and the one you just bought is this one. That is way longer. You would think that your little pea-brain sized brain would go, I think I got the wrong spark plug. So they broke the rope when they tried to pull on it. Obviously, they probably put two hands on the rope and pulled on it till it broke. But that's not enough force to break that camshaft. So when that didn't work and they broke the rope, their next course of action was, because this is a snowblower, and it had a 120 volt electric start on it, they hit the electric start button, which had enough force to break the camshaft. Because when the valve came up, it hit the plug, and that was enough force to push down on the lifter to break that camshaft in half. And that's when the customer decided, well, I better take it to professionals because there's something wrong. Took the old plug out and put this plug back in there. So that's another reason why they don't have the long reach plug, because the customer had realized what he had done, took the plug out. Now I know I said earlier that they failed to send the plug with me. Now it dawned on me. This was the plug that was in there. So then he takes the plug out, puts the original plug back in. Now it'll spin over, but the damage was already done. Mystery solved. So generally, when somebody does something like this, put the wrong spark plug in it, it bends the valve. But I popped this valve out and it wasn't bent. And again, you could see this mark here. You can see this mark. That's from this part of the spark plug when it got smashed. Plus, when I stuck this in there, when I had this plug in there, and when I set it on top, you could see it's sitting up. So this customer, when this thing is all bolted together, he had to really crank that plug down to where it was hitting and it was holding the valve closed. Then when he hit that electric starter, something had to give. And that being the camshaft. So here's an interesting little tidbit. The replacement camshaft for this engine, the new one, is plastic. That's what you get. You get a new plastic cam to replace your cast iron steel one. And then they give you a set of lighter weight springs that you got to change out. Take the valve springs out and then they give you ones that are a little bit lighter. But see how you got to be a lawnmower detective to figure these things out? How the heck did that guy break that camshaft? Well, it must have just been bad casting, that's all. It was just a bad casting, and that's why it broke. It was a bad casting. No, it wasn't a bad casting. It's another reason why some people should just take their tools and throw them in the garbage. Again, just because you bought tools doesn't mean you're a mechanic. It means you bought tools. What if you were to do the opposite? That's what you're saying right now. I can hear you through the camera. Taryl, what happens if you were to take out a long reach plug and put a short reach in there? What usually happens if you do that, it will run. But those leftover threads that aren't being covered by the longer reach plug, those threads will fill up with carbon. So say this is a head that uses a long reach plug. And it's only threaded in this bar. So it'll run. But all these threads here that are exposed are going to get all filled up with carbon over time. And then if you take it out, say you're a mechanic, and you go, oh, hey, this knucklehead, he put a short reach plug in a long reach cylinder head. You're probably going to have to chase it out. You're going to have to chase the threads out. Because now when you go to put the correct plug in there, it's going to be hitting up against all that carbon in the threads, and it ain't going to want to thread in unless you force it, and then you're just going to make things worse. So you usually got to chase it out. So there you have it, grass rats. Another mystery solved on Lawnmower Mysteries and Oddities. Tune in next time for another episode of Lawnmower Mysteries and Oddities. And for Lawnmower Mysteries and Oddities, I'm Graham Norton. I mean, Pterodactyl. And there's your dinner.
Lawnmower Mysteries and Oddities.